it's Mark, World's Okayest Farmer, and today I'm doing an oil change and a fuel filter change on my 2020 Chevy 6500 dump truck. It's got a 6.6 Duramax with the Allison transmission, and so I might have to do a voiceover because it's always windy in my shop, and so we might have an audio issue. But the nice thing about this truck is with the front pivoting hood, it makes the engine very accessible if you have to do any kind of work on it. I mean, the engine oil, it's a totally different ball game, but if you have to work on the engine itself, it's very accessible. The one thing I don't like about this truck is the oil filter is a canister at an angle. I still don't understand that, but it is what it is. On my old Ford, my 2005 Ford, it had a drop-in filter on top of the engine, which was awesome for oil changes, but for whatever reason, different manufacturers do it differently. But it says this truck holds 10 quarts of oil, and I use a Rotella T, full synthetic on this truck, and I'll show you that. But either use the 5W15 or the 15W, I'm sorry, 5W40 or 15W40 weight oil. And like I said, full synthetic, Rotella T. Most people, I think, use the Rotella T in diesel trucks. It's pretty popular. We're going to go ahead and get started on this. Pretty quick, easy task, but just in case you were wondering. So as I stated, here the hood's open. You can see you have access to pretty much the whole engine except for on the back side against the firewall. And why is this filter in here? I don't know. One of my drivers. What the heck? They're too much. Anyways, I'm sure he meant to do that. The engine fill you can't see. It's right back here is where we're going to fill the oil. Transmission, dipstick. So I opened the cap on the engine oil fill, and that will allow, when you open your drain plug, air, so there's no cavitation, just to flow easier. There's not a lot of clearance underneath this truck like on some of my other trucks where you can put a 5-gallon bucket in it. So I use these couple-gallon pans underneath it. 2 of them hold the 10 quarts no problem. Alright, so you're up under here. There is the oil drain pan. We're going to pull that plug right there. Don't get it confused with the transmission pan there. So the most forward one. We're going to go ahead and take that out. I'll let you know what size it is here. Oh yeah, first try. Alright, 15 millimeter. Alright, 15 millimeter. Oh, she's already draining. Don't drop your plug. And then remember to check the end of your plug. They're usually magnetized, so you can check for metal particles. It looks pretty clean, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe it down, let this drain for a while, and then we'll put the plug back in and go up top. Alright, the oil's pretty much done draining. I don't let it go forever. It's been running for a while. I wipe it down and put the plug in. So, wipe it, plug it. Alright, and then I snug it up. Don't crank it down too tight. .15 millimeter. Snug. Wipe down anything around it so you can check for leaks. Alright, and then we go to replace the filter. The filter is right under the driver's seat, basically in the frame rail. Straight up there you can see that AC Delco blue filter. That's what we're replacing. Of course it's mounted at a slight downward angle. I don't know why. Alright, it's not going to be easy to show because there's no room where they have this filter up under the inside the frame rail driver's side. I use a strap wrench like this to break it loose, run it off by hand, makes a mess everywhere. I don't know why people design things like this, but we're going to go ahead and break it loose. The first time from the factory it was super tight. At least now that I've done, this will be my third oil change, it's not as tight. Alright, now we make a mess everywhere. I don't get it. I don't even... Just a dumb setup. I think they do this so people are just angry and take it to the dealer to get work done, so they can charge you $9,000 for an oil change. Like, it just drips, runs right down on your universal joint for your drive shaft. So now I'm putting a new filter on. It's a canister style, like I said. My 05 F250 had a drop in on top of the engine canister. It was awesome, but yeah, we're back to a regular can style. AC Delco is the factory OEM filter, and it's PF26. There's also 126, 84, 0, 38, but PF26 is what you're looking for on the AC Delco. Put some used oil on the gasket, thread it on till it's snug, and then give it a quarter turn. Comes in this. Well, this is from an actual Peterbilt truck center, but International has the box for this AC Delco. International had a lot to do with the designing of this truck, so that's why that's like that. Alright, I'm going to go back under there, thread this on, and then pretty simple, we'll come back up to the top, put a funnel in our oil fill port there, and add the 10 quarts. Alright, plugs in, filter is on and snug, and the oil fill is right here under the tranny dipstick. This funnel, I don't know if this funnel's gonna... yeah, that'll be fun. Funnels in, filler tube. I got full synthetic T6, 15W40, 4 quarts per gallon, and so I'm going to put 2.5 of these in. I'm going to put 2 in now, run it, let the oil circulate, check the dipstick, and then add the other half gallon to the full mark on the dipstick. Alright, just put 2 gallons in, 8 quarts. I'm going to start it up, let it circulate, and then shut it off. We'll check the dipstick. Should be, it might not even be on there. Add the other half gallon. Dipstick's right here. Clean it off. Yeah, there's nothing on the dipstick yet. So I just added half gallon, 2 quarts. You can see it's a little over halfway up the dipstick. It's always going to show up dark black even right after you change the oil, so don't worry about that. But I'm going to add a little bit more and it's good. And that, then put your cap back on and your oil change is complete. I'll show you how to reset the message on the instrument cluster. And then I'm going to start the... There's a strut on the passenger side that you have to clip up the lock and it allows the hood to close. It's a safety latch or safety lock on the opening rod. Alright, I'm going to turn the ignition on to the accessory position, and then use this little knob right here. It says change fuel filter. We're about to change engine oil soon. Push in on the knob, scroll through fuel range, fuel economy, remaining oil life 0%. Push in. Are you sure you want to reset? Yes. Oil remaining life 100% now. Remaining oil life is 100%. You just use this knob right here. We'll do the same thing after we change the fuel filter and reset that to 100%. Always check your drain plug, check your oil filter, make sure they're not leaking. And now we're going to go back to the fuel filter change. The fuel filter is a 1940 5644 is the part number. AC Delco. Here's what it looks like. It is a drop-in cartridge with O-rings. Alright, changing this fuel filter on this Chevy 6500, and I'm sure it's the same on the 55s and probably a couple of the other ones. Right at the back of the cab, you come down under the frame. Under the frame, right there is your fuel filter housing. I have a bucket underneath here. Same one that I put oil in, because it's all going to get burnt. Then right on the back side here, you twist this open. This is your little drain for the housing. Everything looks a mess under here because it's got fluid film. Alright, when you crank that open on the bottom, you can see where the diesel comes out. That's going to drain that filter housing. I have fluid film underneath the truck here, so that's why everything's coated. Plus my dumb PTO hydraulic system leaks fluid all the time because it's too small a system for this truck, but it's gonna get fixed soon. There'll be a video on that. Alright, we're gonna let this drain, and then 29mm on the cap, and we'll take that off when it's done draining. Alright, 29mm socket. All I could find was an impact socket, so that's what I bought because nobody has a 29mm socket. And take the cap off. I'm going to move you back just in case it makes a mess. It's just a cap with an O-ring with a cartridge. Pretty easy job. Alright, there comes a little extra fuel you can catch in your drip pan. Fuel I just filled up today, diesel fuel, $6 a gallon. Let's go, Brandon. Still got a little bit of fuel in here. Oh, it's running the... Alright, there's our old filter. Old filter here. You can see the O-ring if it comes with a new one, or you order an O-ring, replace the O-ring on this cap. You can see the O-ring's a little odd shape in there. That's fine. Part numbers on the bottom there. All you do is pull out on this. It just clips into the cap. Wow, it's in there pretty good. Oh, alright. A little bit of force. It's out. That's what your cap looks like. That's the side that the big side clips into it. Here's the part number of the new filter cartridge, 1940-5644. New filter. There you can see that O-ring is the same. This is the one that goes in, the bigger side goes into the cap. Cap. Filter, big side. Alright, you feel it click on, and it's good on there. I'm going to wipe down this. It didn't come with a new O-ring. You probably have to order that separate if you want that. There's a little strainer in there, it's clean. That goes inside the filter. Push up in, and you'll feel it engage. Get those threads started. Just a plastic cap, so don't tighten it down too hard. .29mm. Alright, it's nice and snug. We'll check it for leaks. I'm going to wipe it down with the paper towel, clean it up, and make sure nothing's dripping while it's running. And that's it for the filter change. It's pretty quick. You can get a new O-ring for the cap. I don't think it comes with the filter. Changing that filter took me about 10 to 15 minutes making a video, so it could take you even less. Once you change the filter though, you got air in the system, so you need to turn the key on, not start, but on. You can hear that whining noise is the fuel pump sending fuel, so it's filling that filter system back up. The way that cartridge is, you can't put, if it was a canister, you would pour fuel in it, fill the filter up with fuel so it's not starving, but in the canister like that, you can't do that. So run the key through 2 cycles, accessory on. I don't hear it charging that time, so I'm going to try it one more time. And it's not doing anything. I'll give it a second and we'll see if it starts. Let it run for a second. I'll let it run for a little while. Let it get fuel and everything through the system. Come down here and make sure you're not dripping anywhere. All right. I do like the fuel filter change. They did that right, for sure. Nice and easy and quick. I wish the oil filter was the same way, right next to it. All right, I'm gonna shut her down. Back to accessory. Change fuel filter. Push your button in. Oil we already reset. Remaining fuel filter, 0%. Push it. Are you sure you want to reset? Turn it. Yes. Push it. 100%. Good to go. All right. Good to go on this truck. Fuel and oil change complete. Not a very hard task. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to World's Okayest Farmer.